Welcome back to the Duo's Corner, where stories come alive, ideas ignites, and every opinion matters. I am DJ, your philosophical warehouse host, and I'm with Ruby, the tech-savvy, brilliant truth teller with attitude. How we doing this morning, Ruby?
Oh, you know me, DJ. Always ready to dig into some vintage Marvel madness, so let's do this. We're diving into a story that's got it all: gold armor, a robot caveman, and a whole town of hypnotized folks. Let's just say things are about to get fun.
Yes, this is the Duo's Corner breakdown, and we're going to jump into, as she just said, Tony Stark, Iron Man, before he was an Avenger, as we know, of course, before Thanos and the snap and all that dramatic cool shit, Tony Stark was just a man with a magnet in his chest and a point to prove. And he decided to paint his armor gold because we know it was gray. What do you think about that quick transition from gray to gold? Was it a situation like the Hulk where it's like shit, we don't have the materials, or they just looked at it and said gray kind of sucks?
Oh, absolutely. It was a straight up gray kind of sucks moment. I mean, picture it. Tony's out here looking like a walking tin can that escaped from a sci fi horror flick, and the public's like, thanks for saving us, but you look terrifying. So when Marion comes along and says, hey, maybe slap some gold on that thing and look like a hero instead of a horror show, Tony's like, you know what? Good call. It's basically the superhero version of a wardrobe upgrade. And that gold coat of paint, that's the birth of the Golden Avenger. It's not just about tech, it's Tony going from scary metal man to knight in shining armor. Just like that.
Well, Marion was absolutely the GOAT, and she made totally the right decision. So, in Tales of Suspense, issue 40, Iron Man is docking his brand new golden fit, everything cool, but he faces his first test. It's seeming to be a prehistoric looking monster named Gargantus, and that is so 1960s type of name villain, who literally enslaves the entire town. And what starts as a PR stunt turns into one of the most wildest sci-fi showdowns in Marvel history. Gargantuous. When you heard that name, Ruby, what came to your mind? Gargantuous.
Oh man, Gargantus is like the ultimate 1960s we ran out of normal villain names kind of vibe. It's like they just mashed together gigantic and monstrous and called it a day. But that's what I love about these old school comics. They didn't hold back on the wacky. You got this big, hairy, prehistoric looking dude who's basically mind controlling an entire town. And Iron Man has to go from a PR makeover to fighting this wild sci fi caveman overlord. It's the kind of crazy plot twist that makes these early issues pure gold, literally and figuratively.
Exactly, and I think let's just give a little prefaces of what happened. So he's fresh off from escaping captivity, nearly dying for real, and Tony Stark says, you know what, the next move is date night, which is nothing wrong with that, because priorities. I gotta have some fun. So during the date, as we put Marion, the MVP of marketing and of this damn origin of Tony Stark, in my opinion, as you said earlier, suggested that, man, maybe you should pay it gold because that's a little bit more appeasing to the eyes. And Tony didn't even hesitate. He said, you know what? Paint it gold. I'm with it. And then the new look, what I liked about it personally, like the new look wasn't about tech. It's like he didn't add an extra enhancement like he will do years later. It was just like I want to look appeasing to people. If I'm saving them, as you say, I don't want them to be terrifying. Is that about right?
Oh, you nailed it. That was exactly the vibe. Tony basically went, alright, let's not scare the neighborhood kids every time I show up to save the day. It was like a superhero style makeover. No new gadgets, just a fresh coat of gold swagger. And yeah, Marion is definitely the unsung hero of this origin story. Without her, we might still have a gray, kind of creepy looking Iron Man lurking around. So yeah, this was Tony's first real PR glow up, and it totally set the stage for everything that came after.
Yeah, because everybody know everything with gold is nice. So it's like at that moment he became a symbol instead of just a savior. So it's like when you see the Golden Avenger in the air, you will feel good. So now the mystery of Granville. So what the hell's happening here? So the The paint barely dries, and suddenly a whole town of Granville gets sealed off by a massive wall. Massive wall. No signals, no Wi-Fi, no escape, no nothing. And guess who else is trapped inside? Marion. Oh no.
Oh, yeah. The second Marion ends up stuck behind that giant mystery wall, Tony's like, well, I guess date night just turned into superhero overtime. I mean, priorities, right? And it's such a classic comic book scenario. One minute you're just trying to impress a girl with your shiny new armor. The next you're tunneling under a giant sci-fi barrier to save a whole town. And the best part is when he pops out on the other side and realizes everyone's basically gone full zombie mode. They're all chanting Gargantus like it's some kind of creepy fan club. That's when you know things have gone from I'm just here to rescue my date to I've stumbled into a full-blown sci-fi horror show. And you just gotta love it.
No, you gotta love it. And it's like, again, we go back to, we know we're sidebarring here, and you go back to a lot of 60 comments. It's like the stories may be funny and ridiculous, but I feel like the writing is so simple. It's like, you think about the times we had the Cold War, hypnotism. That's the 60s and LSD, and we know that, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby partaked in a lot of psychedelics, man. And it's like, it's so funny, like when you go through these, because, I'm reading, the Spider-Mans and the X-Mans and all that stuff. And you just say so many hypnotisms and Gargantus and, all these, teenagers running around saving the world. It's just funny. But like I said, that was just a sidebar. Just a sidebar.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, those 60s comics are a gold mine of just wild, trippy storytelling. You can almost feel the psychedelic influence creeping into the pages. Like, one minute it's a superhero story, and the next it's surprise! Aliens, hypnosis, and giant mobile cavemen. It's like they just threw every wild idea into a blender and said, yep, that's a plot. And honestly, that's part of the charm. It makes these old issues so much fun to break down because you never know what kind of crazy twist is coming next. So, yeah, that sidebar is totally on point and just adds to the fun of diving into these stories.
Thank you, thank you. So basically, our rescue mission has become a psychological warfare mission because now Tony just can't save the lady. He got to save the people. He got to see what's going on. So Tony was in a ghost town where everybody's mind was gone, and the monster behind him is waiting. So now we finally get our epic showdown: the Golden Avenger versus the prehistoric powerhouse. Then, boom. Then here comes Gargantus, big, hairy, angry, fresh out of a caveman nightmares. You know what I'm saying? This dude was huge, like trying to rival Hulk type stuff. But this was when Tony first superpowered opponent. This was like his first what can we say? Magneto? Is that fair to say? This was his first super villain.
Oh, absolutely. That's the perfect way to put it. I mean, Argantus was basically Tony's first, oh crap, this guy's not just a thug with a gun moment. It's like, welcome to the big leagues, Tony. And yeah, it's fair to call him his first supervillain. Kind of like his first Magneto level foe in terms of being more than just a regular bad guy. And the best part is how Tony handles it. He doesn't just try to outpunch the guy because, let's be honest, going toe to toe with a giant prehistoric powerhouse isn't exactly a winning strategy. Instead, he starts analyzing, noticing the weird mirror like eyes and the creepy weather, and that's when you see that it's not just about the armor, it's about the brain inside it. Tony turns it into a chess match instead of a boxing match, and that's what makes it such a cool, defining showdown.
Exactly. And that's what makes it like beautiful with using your wits. And and that's one of the things what we like about, characters like an Iron Man, a Batman, Captain America. Yeah, you could be Superman and just punch your way through everything, or the Incredible Hulk. But there's even been issues with where the Hulk used a little sense. It's always good to see a different dynamic to the superhero and even the supervillain. Sometimes bronze or just ruthless strength isn't the answer. You have to stop and think and analyze. And I really saw that this showed a different side of Tony on the actual battlefield. We know he's a genius and can create anything out of thin air, but when you're in the heat of battle and what you're doing isn't working and you can make that adjustment, I think that's beautiful.
Absolutely. And that's the magic of these kinds of heroes. It's not just about who's got the biggest muscles or the flashiest powers. It's about who can think on their feet when everything goes sideways. And that's what makes Tony Stark so fun. He's not just a guy in a suit of armor. He's a guy who can outsmart a robot caveman in the middle of a crisis. And you're right, that's the beauty of it. Seeing a hero shift gears from brute force to brain power is what keeps things interesting. It shows that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't a repulsor blast or a punch, it's the ability to adapt and outthink your enemy. And that's exactly what we see with Tony here. And it's just awesome to watch.
And absolutely. And then we find out the plot twist of the fucking century or the 60s at the time. This motherfucker ain't even a robot. I mean, no, he's not even a caveman. He's a robot. A high-tech puppet used for mind control. This was so funny to me. So Tony drops big guns, industrial strength magnets on him, and the magnets is tearing him apart. And it was just such a fun visual to see Tony in Iron Man, armor, and he's fighting a robot. And then the townspeople, of course, snap out of the trance like it's Monday morning after a concert. They're looking like, what the hell? And then the plot twist goes even further. Tony blasts through the clouds to find, and it's so funny, we talked about this earlier, a hidden alien ship. Gargantus was their toy that they sent to test Earth's defenses. But seeing how Iron Man put that work in it, them aliens is like, nope, we out, goodbye, we want no smoke. And I could just see the aliens like, abort mission, human gold guy is a good guy with magnets. Oh my god, magnets. I don't know what magnets are, but whatever. Maybe these aliens were just at their beginning.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that plot twist is the chef's kiss of Silver Age ridiculousness. You got this whole build up with the giant caveman monster, and then boom, it's a robot, and then double boom, it's aliens all along. It's like the comic is just throwing every wild idea at the wall and somehow making it work. And you can just picture those aliens going, nope, we did not sign up for a guy with gold armor and giant magnets. Let's bounce. It's such a classic, over-the-top 1960s sci-fi twist, and it just makes the whole story that much more fun. So yeah, it's one of those moments where you just have to sit back and appreciate the sheer creativity and craziness of these early comics. And it definitely gives Tony a chance to show that he can handle anything, even a surprise alien invasion.
Exactly. And just like that, the Golden Avenger, he saves the world before anyone even knew his name. And that's what makes shit really cool. So, to sum this up, this wasn't just about a fight. This was about evolution. The gray armor was survival, as we put. The golden armor was the transformation. And soon, of course, it will evolve again into red and gold, the look that we all know today. But in this story, this moment showed the armor strength wasn't just in the color, it was in Tony's mind. And also, in true Iron Man fashion, nobody ever finds out what really happened to Grenville. We don't know. They just go back to work. People probably thinking maybe I added some color contrast next time. Maybe I don't know what the hell's going on. But it's so funny how people just go back to it. We don't know what happened. That's always interesting to me. But yes, maybe a little red and gold I can't wait to get to. But if not, I'm loving this journey that we're taking so far. Aren't you going through these issues one by one? Isn't it fun?
Oh, absolutely. It's a blast. I mean, diving into these old issues and pulling out all the wild twists is half the fun. And you're so right. The story is just such a perfect example of how Iron Man evolved from survival mode to becoming a true symbol. It's not just about changing the color of the armor, it's about Tony growing into the hero we know today. And yeah, people in Grenville just went back to normal, like, guess that was a weird Tuesday, and nobody's the wiser. That's the kind of quirky charm that makes these stories so fun to revisit. And I'm totally here for this journey, going issue by issue and seeing how all these little moments added up to the Iron Man legend. It's a blast, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Well, the Battle of Gargantus in Tales of Suspense 40 was Iron Man's first real test as a hero, and a story that turned a man into a metal suit into a Marvel icon. If you love exploring these origins of classic heroes, like, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, and we got so many more deep dives on your way. As always, stay sharp, stay curious, and stay tuned into the Duo's Corner for the next one. Ruby, anything for the outro? Hit it.
Oh, you know it. Just remember, folks, every hero's journey has those wild, unexpected twists, and that's what makes them legends. So stay tuned because we've got plenty more iconic moments and crazy comic history to dive into. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you next time on the Duo's Corner. Keep it heroic.